All right, so the next part of the Elimination Chamber was the Divas Championship between Beth Phoenix, of course, because she's the Divas Champion, and Tamina.
Apparently.
Uh, Pretty good match for a Divas match. Usually they're just riddled with botches and everything. And this one wasn't really. I mean, they had some good little moves here. They had the superplex that they did. Tamina had a nice super kick on Beth. They had the splash and everything, the glam slam. You know, not really much to talk about during the match itself, but I thought it was okay. What do you guys think?
I thought it was much better than a normal Divas match. It had it's like, as you said, it had Tamina giving Beth a solid match rather than her squashing some blonde bimbo or some slutty hoe. So it was I actually paid attention to it, I didn't actually go to take a piss, so I was quite happy with it. Um yeah, it could have been a bit longer, but it was good for what it was.
I wouldn't expect it to get any more time than it was, but it was a very solid match. They had some good back and forth action, more than you'd expect them to give to, any Divas match on a pay-per-view card. It did like I thought it would. Beth kicked out of Tamina's finishing move and then ended up finishing her off to kind of build towards the whole, ooh, I'm still the dominant Divas champion. No one can take this off of me thing that they seem to be building towards WrestleMania with. But what was there was really solid. It might not be a sign of things to come, but every once in a while, it's kind of nice to see them give the Divas something.
All right, and
Yes.
the that led us. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about that,
I
as far
was
as
just
I'm
gonna
concerned,
say it's just been a while since they've actually had a solid Divas match. And I don't care how many times Goldust or Finley or anybody else sits there and goes, "Well, they are trying." You don't actually have the talent to put together those kind of matches, so
do or do
it
not.
was
There is
nice.
no try. A wise
Yeah.
Exactly.
man once said. Uh, so that leads us to my least favorite part of the entire night,
Yoda puns.
which is John Laurinaitis comes out to give his big announcement. What
Uh,
is his big announcement? It's the fucking announcement that they did earlier in the week that he is going to try to be the Raw and SmackDown general manager. So they wasted what, like 7 minutes or something on this bullshit?
yeah, that was my piss break.
And you know what pissed me off even more about this is what happened right afterward, which was a WrestleMania commercial.
Yep.
And I'm like, how much bullshit do you need to waste? They had multiple segments of Santino with Rocky kind of homage this backstage, which yeah, they were a little funny and everything, but they were time that could have been given to another match. And then they had commercials and let's talk about John Cena and let's try to build up WrestleMania, which is like, isn't that the whole fucking point of Elimination Chamber itself? You don't need to keep advertising the things that you are advertising with your product. That's like having I don't know, like the first part of a trilogy set of movies, and midway through the movie, they stop the movie to be like, by the way, there's another movie coming out. This is the trilogy, and this is part two. And it
Yeah.
pisses me the fuck off when they keep doing this because this is a pay per view, and I'm gonna keep saying this over and over until they stop doing it. This is a pay per view, and if you don't want people to watch the free streams, which people are doing, and that's why you've got an 8 million fucking dollar loss for shit here and there. If you don't want them to watch the free streams, don't number one up your prices of the pay per views, and number two, when you up the price, you lower the amount of the content, and then for your 3 hours, either you end it early or you spend some of the 3 hours doing commercials for shit. If it's a pay per view, you should be paying solely for your entertainment themselves. And I can understand when they do like the little recaps of the feuds, which you really shouldn't need to do in the first place because if you want people to watch Raw and SmackDown, then they should learn that shit in the first place. But if if you want to justify it by saying maybe people are watching it with their friends and they don't know what's going on, let's give them that. Okay, you take a minute and a half and you go over the whole thing. That's fine. But you don't need to ad commercials for the stuff that you've been promoting for an entire fucking year. More than it because you were promoting it basically when you were promoting the last WrestleMania because it was mostly The Rock and Cena arguing with each other. Oh, by the way, The Miz is here. So that pissed me off. But this whole segment was John Laurinaitis talking about the shit that he already talked about, and then you had to sit there and watch when all three people, Mark Henry, Alberto Del Rio, and Christian, came out, and they all just repeated, I think that you should do it too. Oh, I think that you should do it too. Oh, I think that you should do it too. And then Otunga takes a picture of them. The end. What the fuck? On a
Yeah, it
pay per
was one
view?
of those things where it was just wasted. There was no point. There was no point to it whatsoever. We knew what the announcement was going to be. It was just some reason to get guys that haven't been on television for a while on TV.
Well, I
Uh,
thought it was, they could have also done it on Raw because it would have been just as effective. But I thought it did a good job of kind of kickstarting, and speculating what they're going to do with Laurinaitis and Teddy Long at WrestleMania in terms of who's going to have control over the WWE. Because I'm pretty sure that those three guys weren't endorsing him just for the sake of endorsing him. I think they're going to be involved in some sort of tag team match against a team of Teddy Long's choice. So it didn't bother me all that much. As like the commercials, though, like all the Be a Star bull crap and everything like the huge overdrawn Cena and Rock promos that they seem to air on Royal Rumble, and then you're seeing them on television like three times,
And then
and then on
commercials for paper jams.
yeah, you're seeing commercials for pay-per-views on pay-per-views, and that's annoying as fuck. Like, okay, we know that that's coming up. We see it on television every week. Why are you wasting time airing it again?
Hmm.
Like it's time to fill that. We're just gonna throw commercials on there. Yeah, that's stupid. But I thought, this wasn't as pointless, as I thought it could have been. I mean, it was. I think it's doing a good job of building towards whatever they're going to do at WrestleMania. I didn't have that big of a problem with it, to be completely honest.
Maybe if we're lucky when they get the WWE network sorted out, they'll just have a TV show on the network of promoting all their bullshit
they
and they could
have
just
these
keep that
anyway.
24/7.
They
No, no,
have
they'll
these
do that
anyway.
and then still have it on the show, so it's like
They have like
triple
the
the
pre.
promotion
They'll promote the show that promotes the shows. And
while
it'll be like,
promoting
make
other
sure you watch
shows.
the WWE, make sure you watch show.
They
This
literally
time we
have
this time we have a
most
special
of
segment where we promote the promotion of fucking the Chaperone 2 or something.
Oh God,
Oh God,
please
no.
no. Exactly.
Look bad enough.
And then of
If we
course we
get the
had the
chaperone too, I'm gonna shoot myself in the fucking head.
and we had to waste even more time. Josh Matthews interviewing Big Show of him going, "Yeah, I'm gonna win. We know. Move on. Do the match. Let's watch you win." So the next part of that is the Elimination Chamber for SmackDown, which I'll say right now before we get to the other part, annoyed the hell out of me because then I knew immediately that the last match of the night was going to be the ambulance match.
Yeah, no,
So,
I agree with you on that. I literally did not want that ambulance match as the last match of the night.
so the next part we will talk about the World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber review from the Elimination Chamber pay per view.